And thanks for inviting us in. It's now 11 o'clock, and we begin this evening with a proposed increase on electric bills that has many Hoosiers frustrated. Tonight, the public got a chance to vent about this possible rate increase for the first time since AES filed this request. Our Alex Almanza was at the public meeting tonight. So, Alex, what do people have to say?
If not, I'm sure they're working on it.
AES filed a proposal earlier this year. There's been a lot of pushback from customers who say the rising cost of everything, this just adds one more hole to their already leaking wallet. Seldom has a library checked out this much frustration. On Monday, the West Perry Library branch turned into a hearing room as the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission heard from AES Indiana customers, each with a different story on why they don't want rate increases.
Profits should be not the main priority. We should have good, clean electricity, dependable electricity. Right now, we don't. The
governor-appointed IURC, as well as the petitioner and consumer advocates, let the people do the talking. That was done by design. Each comment written down into public record for state regulators to consider when deciding on whether to approve AES Indiana's $21 rate hike.
Regulators have enormous discretion in this case to say no to many of AES Indiana's proposals. The deal is not done. We have the opportunity now to have our voices heard and to make an impact.
The Citizens Action Coalition points out that $21 is on top of a $9 increase already approved and set to take effect this year. Coalition leaders say Hoosiers are already struggling to pay their bills and that adding this only brings more pain.
It makes me feel angry. It's kind of gross that they're thinking that they have to go around to the customers and ask them to pay extra money when they clearly have it.
AES Indiana says the rate increase is necessary to keep up with the rising cost of business, including what they call vegetation management.
This vegetation management cost has skyrocketed for us over the past 3 years since we filed our last rate review. And that increase has been about 185% for us just over that 3-year period.
Monday's hearing is an example of what people can expect throughout the rest of the month as the next meeting is set for Thursday. And Thursday's hearing will be at Southeast Community Services at 6 p.m. Their customers can also write to the IURC via snail mail or online. Scott?
All right, Alex, thanks so much. Right now, Facebook's parent company is working to bring a massive data center to Lebanon. Tonight, that proposal made it past its next hurdle. So the Plan Commission gave it the green light this evening. City leaders say that's a major step before crews can start construction. So up next, the council will have to sign off on a couple of things, including road closures. That's expected to take place in the next couple of weeks. Lebanon's director of planning and zoning told us the goal is to prioritize both the people living in Lebanon and the city's future.
And what we're doing is making sure that whatever goes there meets our standards, and the standards are very high. So we want to make sure as much as possible to protect the people that live in the area and or around the area. Are things going to change? Absolutely. But we're trying to do the best we can to minimize the impacts as much as possible.
If it's approved, the data center would occupy 1,500 acres in the southern part of the area's LEAP district. We could see first construction activity on that site this fall. Angela?
Scott, another hot and humid day on tap for tomorrow, and grab the umbrella. There will be some scattered storms around, some in the morning, some in the afternoon. High temperatures on Tuesday in the upper 80s and low 90s. Storms right now continue to move across portions of Illinois and slowly into the northwestern part of our state. Future Track 13 shows that line of storms weakening just a bit as it starts to move in, and then we get the daytime heating tomorrow, additional storms Tuesday afternoon and evening. We'll talk about the threat of severe weather in the full forecast.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. Tonight, a family is devastated after the death of a 17-year-old. Xavion Whitlow shot and killed at a party over the weekend.
He said, "I love you." I said, "I love you too." He always ended the call with, "I love you."
That is Xavion's grandma. She got the heartbreaking news that her grandson was killed at an apartment Sunday morning near 22nd and Central. Police say they believe that party was in a short-term rental inside of newly built apartments, but they are working right now to identify the shooter and figure out why somebody opened fire. Xavion's grandmother told us everyone ran off and left the 17-year-old by himself. She says her grandson worked to promote peace in our city.
He was a kind person. He was a mannerable person. He was a very smart person. He's always, to me, been ahead of his times. He went to church. We belonged to Restoration Church.
Family members told us that Xavion was also a student at George Washington High School. He would have graduated in June. We reached out to leaders at that apartment tonight. They told us they sent our request along to corporate. A former Avon chiropractor who admitted to sexually assaulting patients was just sentenced by a Hendricks County judge. So under this plea agreement, Rockbird pleaded guilty to 4 counts of sexual battery against patients at his Cornerstone Chiropractic Clinic. The judge sentenced Rockbird to 6 years on work release. Several of the victims at the hearing wanted this case to go to trial, but they didn't want to speak with us on camera.
I'm very happy that Rockbird will be reporting to work release today. However, I'm very disappointed that the case is not going to trial and that a plea agreement of no jail time was accepted. I do understand the give and take of litigation, but I don't understand how someone can sexually assault women for over a quarter century and not go to jail.
Rockbird can never practice as a chiropractor again, must register as a sex offender, and must undergo therapy. He gave a brief statement before hearing his sentence today, quoting, "I'm very sorry for the pain I've caused to the victims, my family, and the community. My remorse is indescribable. I'm fully committed to being a better man and whatever therapy is prescribed." Indiana State Troopers have been going above and beyond to recover stolen vehicles this year. In fact, listen to this. So far, troopers here in Indianapolis have recovered 336 stolen vehicles. Our Logan Gay talked with state police today. And Logan, I want you to tell us more about the strategy that seems to be working pretty well.
Well, Scott, that's what they tell me. A lot of the vehicles they've tracked down were stolen locally, but they do recover a decent number of cars that were taken outside the city. ISP tells me just one squad is responsible for more than half of the recoveries.
192. That's how many vehicles the Indiana State Police Night Shift B Squad has recovered of the total 336 vehicles in 2025. The squad consists of 13 troopers and 2 supervisors. Trooper John Perrine says this squad has made it their goal to find as many stolen vehicles as they can, and they're having a lot of success.
Our troopers are putting themselves strategically in areas where there's a lot of those license plate reading cameras, so that they can intercept those the moment they get the notification that there's a stolen vehicle in the area.
So far, this has resulted in 359 people going to jail on 764 various criminal charges just this year.
Criminals are stealing cars to commit crimes that are greater than auto theft. They're operating with illegal guns. They're hurting people with violent crime. They're stealing other things. They're committing robberies. They're trafficking drugs and narcotics. So what we find is the stolen vehicle is just the entry level to our investigation.
For people, especially those already struggling, Perrine says a stolen car is a life-changing event.
Maybe somebody has only liability insurance and their vehicle is their only mode of transportation. They lose it, they can no longer get to work. So it's way beyond just a stolen piece of property.
This is why these ISP troopers are being proactive to get these thieves off the streets.
We're also getting people off the streets that have proven that they can't live in a free society without breaking rules. And so there's consequences for their actions.
Perrine says these investigations and efforts impact all of us, and it even goes beyond crime. He says car thefts can even raise insurance rates. So he says this kind of success is good for everyone in our city.
Logan, thanks so much. We just got these pictures in from a crash in Henry County involving 4 vehicles, including this school bus. 4 people were taken to the hospital. Tonight, we're working to learn the conditions of the people that were injured. All of this unfolded around 5 tonight along I-70 near Knightstown. This crash closed the eastbound lanes of the interstate for more than an hour.